Welcome, ladies.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Talk Junkies, where we're in my basement doing incredible things, wonderful things, beautiful things. But anyways, welcome again to Talk Junkies, the best podcast out there. If you haven't heard of us, you will one day because we are the absolute best. But Jesse won't be here because he doesn't want to be famous. Not that we'll be famous, but you know what I'm saying. But anyways, I want to give a shout out to Brennan real quick. He was on the show 2 weeks ago. We took a break last week due to the 4th of July. We record every Sunday, typically, and that's why we didn't do a show last week. So if you're tuning in this week, check out last week's podcast. Where it was awesome. When you dive financially, you need to know what's going on. So check that podcast out, and you'll find out what you need to do. Very, very informative. But anyways, welcome to all our new BitChute people. Thanks for tuning in to Talk Junkies. Appreciate you. We have 6 subscribers on BitChute. So appreciate that, man. We're almost on every platform now.
Every network, NBC, ABC.
Yeah, we're getting there, man. We're getting there.
All the C's.
But yeah, it's going to be a good night. This is the first podcast we've done in 10 podcasts where we haven't had a guest on. So I'm pretty excited about that. Just us 3, the OG 3.
Dude, not to, real quick, not to jerk our own dicks or anything, but like, I would have never thought that you would have just said that. Oh, this is the first podcast we've had in 10 podcasts.
Yeah.
Without a guest.
Yeah. It's been a ride, man. And again, still looking for great people to come on the show. Kind of what I've realized is maybe even in the future, doesn't necessarily have to be an expert, man. It could be just a normal person or someone who's, has something to say.
I mean, that's the whole point. I just like talking to random people that I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
About something.
Yeah. Something really weird happened today. So I'm out going to Hy-Vee when I get home from doing some family pictures, and I go to Hy-Vee because I need to get some ginger beer to make some Moscow mules. And I go inside, and I get some jalapenos and some serranos at Hy-Vee, and then I walk over to the liquor section. And you guys know in Hy-Vee, you got to walk all the way across the other side of the store. And I noticed this lady, and she's in an automated chair that moves for her, because maybe she's disabled. Fine. And she's like holding on to her cart as she's driving this little motorized cart, and it's completely full. And I'm like, okay, I didn't think anything of it. So I go in and get my stuff. I get my my drinks and stuff like that. I pay and I go outside, and I see this lady, and I didn't know who it was at the time. I saw this lady with this cart, and something had fell out of her cart, and it was just a big 1 or 2 gallon. It was a 1 gallon bottle of vinegar. So me being the nice guy that I am, I run real quick over there to grab it, and I'm going to hand it to her. I said, "Ma'am, you forgot your vinegar." And then I look over, and she dropped some ice cream, and nothing's in bags. And from the time that I went to cash out and how much this woman had in her cart, she bounced, bro. She didn't pay. She had a full cart.
Oh, she was just stealing it all.
Yeah, dude. It was a full-ass cart. It had to have been $300 or $400 worth of groceries.
And you were an accomplice.
Yeah. Well, no, I didn't. I mean, I put 2 and 2 together once I gave it to her, and I'm like, well, fuck, man, I shouldn't have done that. I was like, man, I need to do something. I need to go in and say something to someone. But then a car rolls up right behind her. It's this black SUV. And this lady who's driving gets out, opens the back of the SUV, just starts chucking shit in there. On the right side, a gentleman gets out, and he's just keeping guard, just watching to see if anyone comes. And at that point, I'm like, dude, I'm not going to do anything. I'm like, I'm not going to say anything. I'm just like, I'm going to go about my business. I don't want to get involved in this. No, thank you. But I witnessed it, man. I was like, that's where we're at today.
You know what's crazy? I'm sure that happens more than you think about. Like, there's always been people who steal from like grocery stores and Walmart and all that shit. I had a friend way back in the day, in like right around getting out of high school and stuff, who his whole thing was that he would wear flip-flops in, and I'm sure tons of people know about this and have done it before, but wear flip-flops in and then switch those out in the box for new shoes. Yeah. Put the new shoes on and leave with it or whatever. But dude, I've never really heard of anybody straight up filling up their cart with groceries. You said vinegar and ice cream and shit like that. Yeah. And then just like, I'm leaving.
Mops too. There were 2 mops in there. And
was she in the motorized cart that they give you at the store?
Yeah.
So she was out of the cart after
that is
like leaving.
So smart. That is such smart thievery, because nobody wants to fuck with the person
who's in a disabled
in one of those.
Yeah.
Man, that's
and you know what?
That's
here's where it gets. Here's the best kicker. Here's the kicker though. What are you so big on at grocery stores? What do you do when you leave the grocery store? The very last thing you do. And you're big on it. You bring it up in almost every podcast.
Oh, I put my shopping cart
your cart back.
they didn't have the decency to put the shopping cart back.
Oh,
it was
because
literally
they're thieves.
They were in a rush. They were.
yeah, it was literally like the closest it could have ever been.
Well,
like
they're-
You know what's crazy about that? Did you actually? So you actually witnessed them
I
not put
did.
the shopping cart back,
well,
ignoring the thievery for a second.
So I smoked a cigarette, and I intended to smoke a cigarette before I even knew this was going to happen.
But now you were like, definitely, I'm going to watch this.
Yeah, and I was able to look through both windows and kind of see what was happening. But eventually, I didn't want to be like too nosy, so I just kind of turned around and I was thinking to myself, I was like, should I turn around and take a picture of their license plate number and maybe send that to the cops? And I was like, and I just started thinking about all the things in my head. Should I tell this employee that I saw like 20 feet over, like, hey man, they're stealing from you? I was like, no, you know what I'm saying? So I didn't. Whenever they jetted off, I just saw the cart and it just started rolling down the hill.
Dude, that's the crazy thing is that, so we talk about that a lot, the whole putting shopping carts back, opening it's one of those weird ones, kind of like you've never like really seen anybody refill a red box, but like I see shopping carts left out there all the time. I've never actually seen anybody leave a shopping cart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
That's true.
I've never witnessed the person who just like looks around, does the whole nobody's watching and leave their shopping cart. Like,
Okay, this is weird for me because you're right. I always bring this up. I'm like, just common courtesy and just put your fucking shopping cart back. It's not that difficult. You have some like dude making minimum wage, hates his fucking life. You're making his life a little bit better. You're being a good person. Now, I'm actually about to defend these people who are stealing shit because I'm like, dude, you got to get out of there. Like, you got to get
There
the
ain't no
fuck out of
time to
there.
put your shopping
Yeah, you don't
cart back.
have time. That's the one time where I was like, nah, I totally get it. You're stealing shit.
Yeah.
Fucking go for it. Like, Ocean's 11, that shit. You're going to leave some fucking shit behind. Like, your courtesy's already out of the window. I was like, yeah, go.
But
I mean, if you're someone who's not going to leave a shopping cart or not put a shopping
You
cart
better
up,
be stealing shit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
If you're not stealing shit from a grocery store, put your fucking shopping cart back.
well, so
Like,
I-
Jesus, be a good human being.
I agree with you. I think that this is something that's probably happened since grocery stores were a thing. People always stealing, and I'm sure there have been multiple people who've came out with just massive carts of stuff or goods or whatever, and steal it. But to see it's one thing, but it for as common as it has been in the past, I don't know how common, but I mean in left-winged states and stuff like that, specifically California, there's Twitters and TikToks. TikTok videos of people.
Everybody's on video all the time.
Yeah. So now in California, cops won't pursue people anymore. So you have these videos of people going into CVS and they're just taking whatever they want, and people are filming them while they do it, and security guards filming or just saying like just looking at them.
Why?
They'll ride in on their bike and they'll just get a shit ton of shit, trash bags full, and they'll walk out on video, everything. Because in California, they won't do anything. They say, leave them alone. So now you have
Now,
places.
so I know a lot of companies have that policy, like where Walmart says, hey, you can't follow them out the door. You can't go after them. All we can do is call the police.
Right.
Call the police.
Now
They'll take care of it, blah, blah. But
California-
you're saying the police don't even get involved?
They don't even get involved.
I don't understand that.
Yeah, that's just the state of California right now. That's why so many people are leaving California.
I have had at the place of my work have had, which is so weird because of 10 years of working there. I remember one run out or just bailed on their bill. There has been two in the past like 2 weeks. One was a table that I was working on, and it always happens on the patio. But you
It's
try
the
not
easiest
to
place
judge.
to do it.
Yeah, obviously you're already outside your cars, right there, all this shit. They actually called the police the second time because there was like, man, this is happening way too frequently all of a sudden. The cops aren't going to do anything because it was $40 worth of food.
Yeah.
I'm like, how much effort are you going to put in to tracking people down who just stole $40 worth of food from you? They have other shit they need to deal with. That's
You would hope.
Like $300 or $400 worth of groceries. That would be something you might. And even then, they're probably, what are they going to do? They don't know where they live, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying, man, like if it starts somewhere like in California where you're now not, the cops aren't really even getting involved. And you're talking, and again, it's shoplifting. And when I was a kid, you did that. The police did get involved, whether it was a $15 CD. You know what I'm saying?
Back then, the store themselves would stop you.
Yeah.
Like they would not. I'm not even talking security guards. Like I'm not talking mall security.
Employees.
I'm talking like employees would literally grab your arm
They had secret shoppers.
and be like, "Nope, like you're not leaving. Like you're putting all this shit back, and you're gonna sit here and wait for the fucking police."
Yeah.
And I know these people don't give a shit about this because they're very focused on what they can get away with. But this does kind of really hinder communities and advancement in communities.
And that's what I was thinking when that happened.
Like, what you're doing is you're ruining shit for everybody else whenever you steal shit. You make everybody else's life. That way you could just have a couple $100 worth of shit. Now everybody else has to go through a new fucking process.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like, don't fucking steal shit. But I don't just from earlier, I wanted to make it clear, like, my view on don't steal shit.
Yeah,
Pay for
definitely
shit.
not. Definitely. But in the
But if you
circumstance,
do steal shit, be smart enough not to put your shopping cart back and
Yeah.
just fucking leave.
Oh, for sure. Like, if you're going to be a piece of shit, you
Do it
gotta
all the
be
way.
100% piece of shit. Don't half-ass being a piece of shit. You know what I mean?
Dude, that's a loud ass ringtone.
yeah,
It's very orchestra-based.
Samsung.
Sounds like Jurassic Park.
Samsung thing.
I don't know.
But I mean-
don't know. I have a good phone, so I don't know.
You got that old phone, man. I don't know, man. I'm with you, though. It makes life harder for everyone else. I kind of tried to think about what's going to happen if they had video of it, if someone noticed it, if they're going to look back on camera and try and notice this person if they try and come in again. They're going to wait a while. They're going to do it at Price Chopper. They're going to do it at Walmart. They're going to hit up different places at different times. They had it planned out, man, like really well. It's crazy.
Dude, so one of the restaurants I used to work at, and I mentioned it before that it was, I'm not going to say the name of the restaurant or where it was at, but I used to work there a long time ago before I met you guys. And they had the problem if they were not in a very good town, not in a very good neighborhood, lots of just shady shit happening all the time. And there were so many people who walked out on their tab. They're not even there anymore. They closed down. But there were so many people who walked out on their tabs, so many people giving counterfeit money and leaving. And I mean bad counterfeit money. I remember one time watching a table put money on watching a table, put money on the table and then leaving. And I'm busy doing stuff, so I didn't think about it at the time. And I come up later, and it's not even good counterfeit money. It's like construction paper, like green construction paper, like Elmer school glued together just to kind of look like money from afar.
Damn.
You know what I mean? Like, and that happened so much. It got to the point where at first it was like, hey, we have to like crack down and be so tight on stuff. We can't like give stuff out anymore. We can't comp anything. We can't give people a free ice cream to do a survey or whatever. Can't do any of this until it got to the point of like, man, like communities were ruining their own community. You know what I mean? By like stealing all this shit, guess what? Now you just don't have the store anymore.
Yeah.
Like now it's just gone.
But for those people, they're just going to go to a different city and just do the same thing. Like that's just what they're looking for, a free ride, man. In my eyes, that's just ultimately
it's just
what it
weird
comes
because
down
normally
to.
I'm like fuck corporations and fuck blah 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 blah. But like, man, even dude, as much as I hate Walmart, like I hate Walmart and all that, and I'm like fuck them and whatnot, I'd still never steal from them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They can eat the cost, more so than in like smaller businesses and stuff like that.
But that's the thing is they don't eat the cost.
True.
You do as a consumer because they drive up prices.
Yeah, or they close down.
They'll never eat the cost. Like that comes back to everybody else.
I always try to put myself in somebody else's shoes in thinking of that. And these people that do these particular things are probably like, man, nobody has ever done anything for me. I have been shit on my entire fucking life, so why not fuck you too?
This chick was obese. Very, very, it was blatant.
I mean, that's the picture I get in my head when I think of someone on the scooter.
Like overly obese.
Not that that's always the case, but
right.
That's the picture I get.
So, what she's been doing this for a while to be that way. You know what I'm saying?
Well, what I'm getting at here is this person has not had a good life. People do not have that are proud in they have no sense of pride, no sense of responsibility of their community, no sense of, oh man, I'm a part of this. They're all a part of this. Whatever I do, affects other people. There is none of that shit, which mainly comes down to they probably just had a really fucking shitty life.
Sometimes I agree with you for the most part, but I can actually think of examples from like me being in high school where, dude, I had a buddy who would do that same kind of shit, like steal stuff, and he had no respect for property. I remember him and another friend of mine get in a fight because
you guys were younger though, right?
Yeah,
that's teenagers.
Yeah.
But I'm talking. He had no respect
thing.
of value or anything for a different reason though. Not because he had a shitty life or whatever. Because his parents were loaded. His parents were both like doctors and shit, like surgeons or whatever, and he was fucking loaded.
He needed a thrill.
So he had
He
had no respect for value that other people had worked for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So everyone has their own reasons. You're right. It's hard to pinpoint what it would be, but
That was my point. You
Yeah.
just can't say it's just a bad
I don't know, man.
life.
To me, it was just a very frustrating experience. And looking back at it after this conversation, what I should have done before that car even drove up is I should have just grabbed the cart and just ripped it from her and just took it back inside. Looking
Man,
back,
it's hard to know.
Looking back at it now, dude. There's
See, but you don't want to fuck up that and then have some shit wrong, which I think is what everybody's momentary thought process
but
is.
there's no. She stole it, man. That was all stolen goods. There would have been nothing wrong if I would have taken that.
That's kind of a moral question in and of itself. The whole like, when should you just be a bystander and when should you step in?
Yeah.
Because like, there's obvious times when like, oh man, someone's getting fucking stabbed. You should be a decent person and try to help. If you're too little or scrawny or weak and you can't help yourself physically, you know, or you're disabled or whatever, and you can't, for whatever reason, you cannot physically help this person out, the very least you can do is call the police or whatever. But then you got to draw a line somewhere, and it's like, man, where do you always jump in and help out? And where do you stop? Because sometimes you're overstepping your bounds, and you got to find that place. And I'm like, I don't know where that, like you said, the grocery thing, like, I don't think you're a bad person for letting them leave and not doing anything about it. But at the same time, for me, it's like, it's right there on that line where I don't think you're a bad person if you would have called the police and got involved.
Right. Well, and all those things went through my head. I was like, one, should I take a picture of the license plate? Two, should I just follow them home and see, you know, just trying to figure, kind of it was a detective at first. You know, all those things ran through my head. Ultimately, I ended up doing nothing and we just went about my business.
Because it's really not your place
Right.
to do anything. It's really not
But
your place.
it is, though. It's my community. And like you said, the ramifications that it...
What is that whole, this is, I mean, obviously this is
Makes
like,
groceries more expensive for
Yeah.
you and your fucking family.
Yeah.
You're trying to feed your fucking family. Next
Right.
thing you know, everything's jacked up 10%.
Yeah.
Because everybody's stealing shit from the place that you pay good money, hard earned money for, to be able to feed your family, and now it's more expensive. So that's there too.
That's what I'm saying. So
You
like...
have to-
that's why I'm saying you have to draw a line, because what's that saying about like, all it takes for evil to succeed or whatever is for good people to stand by and do nothing?
Exactly.
And obviously we're just talking about groceries here.
Yeah.
But I'm saying there's that line somewhere in the sand. And I'm like, where do you...
I was put in that position today, and I didn't know what to do. It was frustrating.
Also, like,
I didn't act.
where you have to be at mentally to steal groceries, like that amount of groceries.
This is
Like-
a three-person
Yeah, it's different
team,
because you're
man.
not just stealing food, man. You said you're stealing mops and
There was
vinegar and shit. Like,
And those were the things I saw.
yeah.
I mean, it took them a good like
So
3-4 minutes to unload everything in the car.
Like, dude, if they had stole, I'd give them a
weird,
straight up
man.
pass. Straight up pass if they had went in there and stole like eggs and bread and milk and shit like that. Like they not loaded up their cart, but they threw like, man, here's 2 gallons of milk, here's a couple of loaves of bread, some bologna, and
I'm sure
some,
that shit
some
was in
eggs
there,
and
man.
shit. I'm saying, but just that leaving, you're like, man, maybe they're trying to feed someone and they're super fucking poor. I don't think they're doing a good thing.
But there are things that are in place, government assistance and food stamps and WIC and
True
stuff
that.
like that,
True
where
that.
people
And I
have
don't-
they have that option.
But we're not on that, so we don't know how effective that is too.
I've
True.
been on it
Coming
growing up.
from all-
I've been on it growing up. I know people who are on it, man. It's not if you don't make enough money, you get in line and you apply for this process and you get so much money per month to spend on you and your family.
It's just hard to put yourself in someone else's shoes.
I had some, like, whenever I say recent, I mean within like the past 10 to 15 years, relatives who are both mom and dad working and still do not have enough coming in to be able to feed their 2 kids, basically, and still need some form
But also-
of government assistance.
Oh, I was going to say also make too much to have government assistance, but
There is that fine
You
line,
know-
but at that point, I mean, technically you should be able to survive, especially with 2 people. I mean, I don't know. At that point, you just got to figure it out, you know.
Maybe it's a warning sign that, man, maybe things are fundamentally a little wrong here. Why are people doing things like this? Like, not so much like, oh, man, what they're doing is wrong. Well, why are they doing it? Maybe fundamentally some shit's kind of fucked up right now, and maybe we need to rethink that.
And I think we know that, one, specifically because you said it's always happened. People have always stolen things, but I think it's happening more and more. I don't know if there's a statistic that we could look up online to see how much shoplifting there is per year and how much dollar amount it is. But for it to be on TikTok
and that's so
now,
skewed because that's always going to increase anyways.
yeah, because inflation,
With just population, inflation, more stores,
Sure,
like that's always going to
sure.
increase.
How about we raise the minimum wage?
I feel like
give
this
better
is
opportunities for
completely
people. Maybe
unrelated,
they wouldn't
but I
do
feel like our
shit like
levels are
this.
so high right now.
Yeah, they
Like
are.
I feel like our levels are just really,
Work on it. I have to
really
take a piss.
bumping. Not trying to like skew the podcast off in a different direction, but they
Yeah.
all feel super, super, super up there.
Yeah.
There we go. Now they're a little more understandable.
Yeah. But I mean, for me, I don't know, man. I think it's gonna. It kind of goes hand in hand with kind of what we were talking about earlier before we actually started the podcast. Is with, and we're not going to get into COVID specifically, but what it's done to jobs and now the reliance. You know, I've heard a lot of people going out to Las Vegas and them saying that when they go there, there's so many people out in Las Vegas because so many people have money from the stimulus, and people are on unemployment, still getting $700 a week in unemployment.
And they're just like gambling.
Yeah. But what the one thing that they said is like when you went to a restaurant or you were trying to get service, it was extremely hard to do because they didn't have enough people there to accommodate how many people were there in the first place.
Oh, yeah.
So the restaurant industry is really, really feeling the after effects of COVID-19. And
I mean, we all work in the restaurant industry
and same with manufacturing.
Different restaurants, but...
Yeah, and same with manufacturing as well. They're feeling it as well. I know everyone's seeing that, and with just inflation and that, I know that has a lot to do with the amount of money the government's printed and stuff like that. But the amount of goods... No one wants to work because all these handouts.
I don't think it's just that.
Saying?
We've had this conversation, not you and me.
Yeah.
But Jesse and I have talked about this, and I've talked to people about it in work. I think that part of it is, there's definitely some of that. I think that some of it is the government handouts, the stimulus checks, everything like that, for sure. But I think a lot of it is people have started like either working from home or getting side gigs like Uber Eats and Grubhub and all these different little stuff, or doing whatever under the table where they're making money without taxes, whatever they're doing. I think that a lot of people have realized that like they're tired of working for fucking nickels and dimes. And I'm sure that the handouts are part of it, but I don't think they're 100% of it. I think there's a solid percentage of people out there who are legitimately like cutting down and just scraping by, but they're like, I don't want like mentally I'm taking a stand and I don't want to go back and just work for fucking crumbs.
But a lot of these manufacturing jobs are going to be more than crumbs. I would almost venture out to say that a lot of manufacturing jobs are over $10 to $15 an hour.
Dude, $10 to $15 an hour is crumbs right now.
Sure, that's fine. I mean,
we live in a state where it's very reasonable to fucking live in.
Dude, you got to think about every other state. Dude, 10 to 15, man. I'm sorry, man. And I know that there's going to be a lot of people out there who disagree with me for reasons that I fundamentally disagree with you with. But, dude, $15 an hour is crumbs. Like, that is low. And I know, once again, I've talked about this before. I'm sure there's someone out there who would go in the comments and be like, no, burger flippers at McDonald's shouldn't make $15 an hour, blah, blah, blah. Yes, they should. Guess what? You should make a lot more, too. I'm not saying that you should make the same as a McDonald's employee. I'm saying you should also get a big-ass fucking pay raise.
But we've had this conversation before, and ultimately what it comes down to, you already have states that are adjusting and making they're raising the minimum wage. I mean, so here in Missouri, it's an example, $12. I know that's still crumbs. And what we do in the service industry is obviously it's more than $15 an hour to even
I make good money.
More than 20. So the thing is, we do something that doesn't require more than a high school education. You don't even need a high school education to be a server or a bartender. And you can average over $30 to $40 an hour. Those jobs are out there for people. I'm not saying it's for everyone, but in America, everyone has the opportunity to go out there and make $30 to $40 an hour. They just don't do it.
Not everybody in America can all of a sudden go into serving.
Yeah.
Why not?
Because then who else is doing all the other shit?
But why is it so hard? Why is it so hard for the service industry to find people when you can make that type of money? Because people are fucking lazy, man. People are relying on the government. They like.
In all fairness, I don't feel like there's.
It's not their skill set.
There's a skill set thing. I also don't really think there's a server shortage. I think it's a shortage of like cooks and management and all the salary positions and all the hourly positions.
It's a little bit of everything.
I'm only speaking from the company that I work for.
Sure.
We have no issues hiring servers whatsoever. We can hire servers all day left and right. There's extra applications. There's no applications for cooks. They're giving gift dude, they gave me a gift card to manage for 2 days because I've managed in the past and whatnot. I had to manage for 2 days, and I didn't find out till afterwards, even because I was just doing it out of generosity in my heart or whatever. But they're giving me a gift card because I picked up managing shifts. They're paying people bonuses and stuff to start as cooks and all
those
this.
are other restaurants too. Other restaurants and companies.
My point is, I don't think it's a server shortage. I think it's, dude, people don't want to work for like $13 an hour or whatever.
But I mean, again, you have the opportunity to do whatever it is you want in this country, and you can succeed at it. And if you work hard and you have motivation, the money will always be there.
Everybody can't be a server. Like, let's say you had a ton of people apply for server. Nobody wants to be a cook. Nobody wants to be a cook.
I get
You know why? Because they don't pay enough. You can't have a restaurant without cooks, though.
But look around. Though. There are some places that start off at $18 an hour to cook. You know what I'm saying?
There is a group of people, by the way, to go against you, there is a group of people that are willing to work for that, and they are immigrants. Immigrants are willing to work for that money. Nobody who is born in America is going to go be a cook for whatever state minimum wage is.
And most illegal immigrants who are cooks are making more than minimum wage. They're making $15 an hour, and for them that's enough because they come from a country where they're getting paid $3 or $4 an hour, and they're able to take that $15 an hour, find a cheap apartment, be able to succeed.
You know these cooks.
Hold up.
You think
You
they
know
should be
these
working
people, though.
60? You think
I
they
do.
should be
You know
working
these people.
60-hour weeks
They're
with no free
busting
time?
their ass with
They
no
are.
free time, no time to do anything they want. Which I'm not saying that you should just be able to go out there and do whatever you fucking want in the world. Like, yeah, sometimes there is some struggle. Sometimes there's some struggle. But I know these people, so do you. We all know them. We've all worked at the same place before. Like, they fucking struggle and they work fucking hard and they bust their fucking ass for, once again, for crumbs and for like, they're always at work. They're stuck there. They're literally stuck. They're in a position where they can't do anything else except work, make that money, pay the bills, go home, get the minimum amount of sleep they fucking can, and then go back to work and do it all over again. I think in general, in America, like people are tired of fucking slave wages.
And you know what I love about these people too is they never come in with a scowl on their fucking face.
No, they
have
do
to
the
work
job
60 hours a week. They still have fun. They still enjoy their life, given the absolute hardship. This is some of my favorite fucking people in the world are the immigrants coming into America. These are hardworking people who they work harder than any American right now. Any politician who's working hard is somebody who's doing kitchen prep in the morning at some restaurant, you know, like coming in, and they still find happiness, you know, even though they're underpaid and everything. And I was like, man, your outlook on life is just so good. And these are just so these are good fucking people.
Because in America they're able to do that, send money back to their home because that's what they're doing. They're taking that money that they make and sending it back to Mexico
But
or wherever.
are they not still being taken advantage of though?
That's what I'm getting at, though.
If that's
still being
Because you're acting
taken
like
advantage
so.
of.
Should we just be like them and just be positive and be happy with
But
what
hold
we're
on,
doing?
hold on.
You should like.
to them it doesn't matter though because it's more money than they would make in their own country. They're making more money than that. They're able to live
So
in
it's perspective.
They're able to live in America. And what I'm saying is them making minimum wage, they're able to have a house, have food, be able to eat, and still send money back to their home. So it's obviously not a matter of how much people are getting paid because they're getting paid the same wage and they're doing it. And they're not getting any government assistance. They're not getting any tax returns back or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Granted, they probably aren't getting taxes taken out of their check. Who knows? I don't know. But
It's some weird give and take there.
you know what I'm
We
saying?
could go into details.
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that,
But you know what I'm
we
saying?
don't have to.
But they're doing it, and they have a place to live, and they're not homeless, and they're making it happen based off the wages, the $15, $16 an hour, and they're doing it.
I get that. I'm not disagreeing with you.
And that's what I'm saying is people are fucking lazy. America had the most millionaires.
I am lazy. I am lazy.
America had the most made millionaires last year in the whole world. So what I'm saying is there is opportunity out here, and people are just too lazy to want to take it. They don't want to take it, man. I don't think it's a matter of wage.
You shouldn't have to be this outgoing fucking person to have a living wage whenever you come in. Because we've had it in America before.
But did we not just talk about how illegal immigrants live off the wage that is the standard?
dude. But they're not buying a fucking house, and you know what I mean. They're renting apartments. I'm
Dude,
tired of
they're
saying
working
there because
60
I feel like I'm putting like people in a box and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go off of what Jesse was just saying for a second about how we used to having a living wage, and we've talked about this multiple fucking times before.
100%. Yeah.
But I'm bringing it up again. We always mention, the 50s or the 60s or the milkman who could afford to. Dude, there's no way. Like right now, you and your wife, Carrie Ann, both work. You make good money. You make good money doing what you do compared to other people in America. You're not making 3 figures, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But you're making good money for your time, hourly.
Yeah.
There's no way it could be you, Carrie Ann, your 2 daughters, and it's just you working and you're able to own a home and everything's cool. And then eventually you can go out and buy a boat and you guys can take a vacation and go out on the lake and stuff just to chill out for a little while and get away from work. Then you can come back and go to work again and
Why
it's
not?
just you.
Why not?
Can you do that right now?
If I was smart, I invested my time into what is investing or what it is, what money is. Like if you're going to be serious about money and know what money is, like all those opportunities exist in America. You guys
Dude,
are
if you were in-
huge.
We do. Financially, we do.
Granted,
But the problem is...
Hold on, granted, none of those things are taught to you in high school or as an adult. You have to learn those things out for yourself. But if you're serious about being an adult and wanting to know what it is that you live in, this society or this culture that we live in, those type of opportunities exist. You just have to know how to use it. You know how many self-made millionaires there are who would have made the same wage as I did if carrying didn't work, and I could still... And still could provide for their family just because they know how to invest into money or into the stock market.
I'm talking about the difference in like, okay, so like, and I'm going to get these numbers wrong. I've seen it before. I don't remember the numbers, so I'm just kind of going off the top of my head here. But like back in the day, as far as like college went, like let's say you wanted to go to college or whatever, and you were making minimum wage and you worked 40 hours a week, minimum wage all year long. All right. It would take like 3 months of working or 2 months of working to pay for your college for that year.
Even a year.
Now it
that's
takes
good.
like 8 months, 9 months to pay for that 1 year of college.
Depending on what college you go to, for sure.
The average.
Oh,
for
the average. Okay.
Like,
But if you're going to like an Ivy League school,
I'm not talking about that though. I'm just talking average. Dude,
Yeah.
the point that I'm getting at is everything has increased so much more than wages have increased.
I completely,
Like you can't just.
I get that.
Dude,
I get that.
can't just go out there and buy a fucking $400,000 home. And I'm not trying to take out massive fucking loans. Anybody out there who's like, oh yeah, you can just put. It's easy to save up $20,000. You're right. It actually isn't that hard to save up $20,000. I can do that. Have done that. I'm not going to put
kids if you don't have kids.
Yeah,
You're
there's circumstances,
I see
but I'm not just going to put $20,000 on a home and then make payments for the next fucking 20 years because I can't afford the fucking home. When back in the day, you could do that shit and own the home in fucking 8 years. Or like you talked about, oh man, you used to be able to work in a bar, save up enough money. If you were smart and you weren't a jerk off and just went and spent it all, if you were smart and saved up enough money, you could then start your own bar, start your own business or whatever. That's not a fucking feasible thing now.
Us coming out of the restaurant industry, will we ever own a restaurant in our life?
I think it's a 50% chance.
No.
Someone in our friendship
No.
does, yeah.
No.
Unless my parents have $1 million
does
sitting somewhere, and
does a
then
food
after
truck-
they die, like I get that $1 million, then yeah.
No.
Does a food truck count?
A restaurant.
A restaurant.
You go to a food truck and go, hey, I'm gonna take a girl out to a restaurant, and then you take her to like
Some pretty good fucking food trucks out there.
it's a fucking
And
food
some pretty
truck,
sleazy girls who are willing to go to those.
Yeah. I get what you're saying. You're completely right. With
Dude,
the amount
the
of
opportunity is not there.
with the amount
because-
of inflation, and I'm sorry, Jesse, with the amount of inflation, I think you're right. There needs to be a correction with minimum wage. I think $15 an hour as a minimum wage isn't a bad thing based upon exactly what you just said. And for people to try and argue that no, it still needs to be at $7, that's outrageous, man. Especially with inflation, the amount that beef costs right now, and wood prices, and houses.
And
everything.
I don't even like bringing up minimum wage. I hate that term. Like, let's just talk about a livable wage.
Yeah, sure. A livable wage, yeah.
You should. So, like, if you're
The
working,
minimum wage should be the livable
that's
wage.
that's
right?
what I'm getting at, though.
Right.
It's like, so let's say,
That's not
and a
what
lot
it
of people
is.
say, oh, well, you shouldn't be 40 or 50 years old working at McDonald's or whatever. I agree with you most of the time. Sometimes that happens to people, but I agree with you. You probably shouldn't be 50 years old working at McDonald's. If you are, you are. It is what it is. I'm not going to belittle anybody for that. What?
You can keep going.
I'm not going to.
You can keep going.
I'm not going to belittle anybody for that. There's nothing wrong with that. Do your thing. I'm not saying that working at McDonald's at 50 years old, you should be able to go out there and buy a boat and be able to go to, take, 3 family vacations and go do cool stuff out in fucking Maine or California or Colorado or whatever. But you should be able to not live paycheck to paycheck. You should be able to put some in savings. And right now, you can't do that.
And so for anyone out there, I know you got something to say, but if you're making $7 an hour in today's world, and again, like you said, depending on your age, you should probably be doing something different. Everyone that is dealt with different circumstances.
True.
But even someone who's 16 years old making $7 an hour, it'd be extremely hard to try and get ahead anyway in shape of life.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Making that type of money. They need to be able to get ahead and be able to support themselves when they do get older and do participate in society.
Dude, it's sad when you think about it. So the only reason that I'm able to like save up money right now, and once again, I make good money. I probably make over the average, over the median. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not super rich, nothing like that. I make pretty
now
good.
the IRS knows, man.
Yeah, I make pretty good hourly money, just like both of you do. We all work in the same industry. Dude, the only reason I'm able to save money and invest in stuff is I don't have kids and I have fucking roommates and my rent plus utilities every month. I'm fortunate enough to have this. Not everybody can. I don't own a home. I don't have kids. My rent and utilities is like $330.
You have your car paid off.
I have my car paid off. And now that's a different story because that's the ignorance of people buying too expensive cars for themselves or whatever, or too expensive phones or stuff that they don't need.
Right.
I'm talking about living at the bare minimum, having everything paid off, and I'm still, the only reason I'm able to save is because I'm not paying that much for rent and
Hold on.
utilities.
But that's where you're wrong, though. I mean, and granted, I do have carry-in, and we both are working, But both her and I, we do have a car payment, we have a mortgage, and there are 2 people, but we're still able. We're sitting good, man. Like we're smart with our money.
How much do you pay in like childcare? And
I mean, we pay for them to eat, diapers, all that.
I'm talking about
give you
them being watched. So if you're a single mom, next thing you know, you have to pay $700 a week to have your kid watched, so you can go to work. Do you have to do that?
No, we don't.
It's because you have family. You have a close-knit family, right?
Dude,
and my family's done that too.
Yeah.
My family was like, no, my mom watches kids.
There are people out there who don't, and you know there are ways to go about that. Again, there's help at that point.
Dude, there's people that are like 2 days out of their 5-day work week just go to the money to watch their kids for those 5 days so that they can go to work.
Yeah.
Guess what? The next 2 days out of their 5-day work week go to food and like gas and their rent and stuff. The very last day out of their 5-day work week probably should be put in savings. That's the little bit that they end up using for some form of self-entertainment to keep themselves sane.
Right.
Like there's not...
What I wanted to bring up earlier, one thing that's always frustrated me is this argument to where, oh man, you're raising the minimum wage, so all these teenagers, freshmen, sophomore, senior year of high school, they don't need to make a living wage. What, that's only like around 30% of the people who are working minimum wage jobs.
Most of the people on minimum wage are middle-aged. Like
the other 70% are our age and trying to provide for their fucking families and cannot fucking, and they're miserable because they're trying to make fucking ends meet. It's not about, oh man, you can't give kids that much money. I fucking hate that argument. If you have that argument, look at the fucking numbers. Because trust me, it's people your age working minimum wage jobs. It makes me, dude, it frustrates me whenever I go through like a fast food line and what you were talking about. And there is literally somebody my mother's age who is probably nobody, and don't get me wrong, probably like mismanaged their finances, or you don't ever know somebody's fucking scenario. But there's like a 50-year-old.
I feel like we need a blanket.
There's a 50-year-old.
We need a blanket
like,
statement
this window.
with the fact that everything we're talking about here is circumstantial.
Yeah,
everybody's got different circumstances.
Everything is
for sure. Yeah,
but I mean to think that man, it's all minimum wage workers or just teenagers in high school about to go to college and get their shit together.
The majority of minimum wage workers are out of school.
No,
but I mean,
it's human beings that are just trying to live their fucking life, and they're not fucking teenagers. And if you cannot provide for them, when the money is there, I'm sorry, it's not like the money's not there. If anybody in America thinks the money's not there to fucking pay these people, oh my God, you're so wrong. You're so wrong. I love proving shit on a mathematical basis because the money's there. You can't even argue this shit. Look at Jeff Bezos. Look at fucking all these people with so much money, right?
Not like the money's not there. And by the way, 114. No, I know. That was from like a year ago.
Yeah, he's like sitting around like 140, 150.
Yeah.
This is ridiculous to me. Like, just pay some people to where they can fucking...
We've always said that, man, and I get it. I completely get it. The fact that all these people do have money, and the money is there to pay people more money. I completely agree. Johnny, the way you painted the picture of just the standard of living has never went up, but everything else increases in price. So common sense would tell anyone who's listening to this podcast or anyone who's living in the United States, like common sense would say the living wage should go up with inflation. I think that's only common sense. What is that number? I have no idea.
I don't know.
We're so out of date.
Yeah.
There was a politician. I wish I could fucking remember his name right now. He was talking about, oh man, I only made like $4.50. I only made like $4.50 an hour back in 1950. So what is everybody complaining about $7 for right now?
That was the equivalent of like $30 an hour.
Yeah. It's literally if you do inflation and everything, man, you're making like $17, $18 an hour right now.
Fuck that guy, man. Fuck that guy.
It was more than 17 and 18, by the way.
So
it was like $26 an hour when he was a teenager.
I'm like, Jesus Christ, you're literally shitting on your own argument as you're speaking right now.
But the thing and I'll go back to my original point to this conversation. I agree with you guys in that aspect, 100%. But at the same time, I'm not gonna disregard the amount of opportunity there is in America.
No, you're right about the laziness level, and because like I said, there's a ton of people out there who are doing that right now, who are doing the whole like, man, I got all this money from stimulus, I'm just gonna like not go to work because I'm lazy or whatever reason. And don't get me wrong, I'm lazy too. We're all fucking lazy in our own way.
Yep.
But I'm not going to go to work and all this. Oh, guess what? I just heard on the news that maybe they're getting another stimulus here in the next couple of months. I can draw this money out a little longer. I'll just, be lazy still and not. So that exists too. I don't disagree with you.
Nobody has any pride in being an American anymore, in being fundamental to your community, working hard, because our federal government and everybody who's running shit in corrupted capitalism has sucked the life out of everybody. Sucked the life out of fucking everybody. Where there's not shit like where do you, like, realistically, so many young people go to college because they have so many hopes and dreams, right? Of like, oh man, I'm going to be this, like, and a lot of them work it out, like, with whatever the fuck they're doing. But the majority of them are going to go to school. They're going to get in heavy amounts of debt, and then they're going to be fucked. And then they're going to be fucked because it's not even what you went to school for.
Jobs that require a college degree now pay less as far as the living wage thing goes than they ever have in the past. And colleges cost more now than they ever have in the past.
Okay, so where's all that money going? It's going into CEOs' pockets.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. It's all going into CEOs' fucking pockets. You literally had the GameStop CEO leave the fucking company. He left the company. Guess how much they gave him for leaving the company?
For leaving. Just
How much?
$179 million.
To leave.
For leave. Not to leave. Just
They're like, hey.
He left. He decided, hey, I'm going to retire. I'm going to step down from my position. It's time for me to quit. It's time for me to retire. Someone else can fill this role. Hey, man, you've been so good to us and you've helped us make money. You've helped the stocks go up and all that. Here's a $179 million bonus for you leaving. We can't pay our fucking employees more than minimum wage, though.
Can't keep a store open. Can't refine our fucking like.
That's just called being in the right place at the right time at that point.
Dude, no, that's a problem
It's
with
about what's deserved.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? At some point, it's so blatantly undeserved.
Yeah,
You're just like, man, this is grossly mishandled.
And we've talked about like these just
give them a fruit basket.
These rich people who have so much wealth, like it's unfathomable. And I don't really want to go down that road, but like just for an example like that, that's insane. That's crazy.
And
man.
once again, if you're for whatever reason, if you happen to be watching and or listening to us, and you're making a couple $100,000 a year, and you're like, oh, I disagree with you guys. I think that being rich is blah blah. You're not rich. A few $100,000 a year, you're closer to us than you are to any of them. That's the point I'm getting at, and that's a problem that we have, is that the people making $200,000 or $300,000 a year, making three figures a year, are thinking, man, why are all these poor people? No, you're poor too.
If you're making six figures, you have the same shit as me. Like, I have a car, I have a house, I have a computer, I have a phone, I have food, I go out to eat. It's just you do shit a little bit like nicer than me. That's all that is. You get like a little bit like step up from fucking me. Like, oh man, this makes me angry. Talking about fucking shit like
It's
this.
what I wanted to avoid because it just gets me heated. But
it needs to be talked about though, man, and that's the biggest and most important thing, and that's a good way to look at it. A lot of people make less than $1 million or a couple $100,000 a year, and they think, that they're the shit, but they're not, man.
Dude, there's millions out there. There's millionaires out there who, when you look at it on a scale, as far as, bro, like if you're making $2 million a year, guess what? You're still closer to me than you are to fucking Jeff Bezos. Like,
does everybody here know who Dan Price is?
It's my dad.
I have no idea who that is.
Oh, I'm just
I
kidding.
thought a Cobb salad. I thought your dad was.
My dad is a Cobb salad. Hence, and Dan Price is also.
Dan Price was an internet entrepreneur. Came up with some app or some shit. I can't remember. Made a shit ton of money. Like he was making $1.1 million a year, and then like he hated this idea of capitalism, how it is now, to where he's absorbing all the money, but everybody's doing the footwork for him. He dropped his salary to literally the lowest person's salary in his company. Everybody in his company makes $70,000 a year, baseline, including him. Look up Dan Price. Dan Price is a fucking good guy. He understands this. He's like, man, I can live off $70,000. He's like, what do I really need? I feel better about making sure everybody else is taken care of.
Dude, and that's all it takes. I'm sorry, Jeff Bezos, you don't need $140 billion.
So what about, Elon Musk?
I'm not saying you didn't work hard. I'm not saying you did your shit, whatever, blah, blah. But dude, you can make $1 million a year, $1 million a year, and live fine for the rest of your fucking life. And then guess what? You can take all that fucking extra money, give it back to your employees who are working hard for you and helping your company proceed and benefit, and make them live better lives too.
And your company will probably succeed even more so at that
too.
point.
When you have happy employees, they work better. You have a better. It's fucking.
J.K. Rowling did the same thing. She literally gave up 90% of her wealth, like right off the bat.
And I'm not talking about giving it to charities that go back into your own fucking pocket, because that's a big thing that corporations do.
Because she's a reasonable person. She's a reasonable person, like people like me and you. I literally think this excess of wealth is a mental disorder. I mean,
anyone could develop it too. Once you have that much money, you're gonna. A lot of people would develop it.
I almost think it takes that to develop it.
Yeah.
No, you have a mental. I'm sorry. These billionaires have a mental fucking problem, but nobody's gonna go and like, oh, hey, I'm gonna go to a doctor because man, for some odd reason, I just hoard so much wealth.
But didn't Elon Musk do that? He recently sold all of his houses and he moved into like $100,000 or like a couple $100,000 house. Was a report I saw.
I mean, Elon Musk. We talk about him a lot, joking around about how he's a cool dude, but honestly, he's not a good guy either.
No, I mean he's the richest man.
He's innovative. He's a very innovative.
Yeah. Doesn't make him a good guy when it comes to
whenever it comes to money. He could be completely morally off whenever it comes to that, but. I don't know, man. It's literally how I view it. I'm like, man, something's wrong with you. Why do you like? What's the end goal for you?
So I mean,
what's the end goal?
When you think about it and you talk about like the beginning of the conversation, I think this kind of holds true to what everything we've talked about was, and you, Johnny, made a good point to the fact that, I think there was I don't know how many states now, but originally once. A lot of the states were able to like say, hey, like they knew COVID was over. The states were open. They're like, hey, we're going to stop this $300 federal stimulus. If you are going to claim unemployment, it's just going to be the $400 state. There are, I think, 11 or maybe 20 states that are doing that. There are still over half of the states that are still giving that $300 federal
and I didn't know that. Yeah. I did not know that.
And it could be less or more. I'm not entirely sure, but this was a couple weeks ago. Missouri did stop it like June 11th or June 12th is when Parsons stopped it. But like you make a good point, a lot of these people are still collecting that money who are able to because maybe they are fed up with the system. And maybe not all of them are that way.
I don't think I'm getting at is I don't think it's everybody out there being lazy.
Yeah.
I think there are some people, I think this is a good thing, by the way. Dude, I mentioned it a long time ago when, not to toot my own horn here, but a long time ago when we were working at the same place and I said, hey, I'm not going to do these shifts or whatever because I'm worth more than this or whatever. You know what I mean? And I had a conversation with one of our district managers and all that shit. And I was like, no, you want me to pick up these? Like, no, I'm not gonna do it because the moment that I start doing it, all of a sudden it becomes acceptable and okay. I wish more people wouldn't do it so you guys would realize how shit it is and pay more. And it's the same thing for them. I'm actually proud of those people, not of the lazy people just sitting at home not wanting to work. I'm proud of the people who are willing to like say, hey, this sucks and I'm going through a hard time right now and I'm not making money, but I'm not going to fucking work for this company that's going to pay me fucking dimes.
You're not going to work for a company that pays minimum wage and then watch the CEO fucking walk out with $179 million for fucking, just because he's quitting.
No shit. So in a way, COVID was a blessing in that respect because it made people realize their worth. Maybe they were able to sit at home. Damn, like, man, I'm worth a little bit more money than I am. I'm not going back because those jobs are still open and available. And those people who used to work there could have went back. Yeah. Why aren't they going back? So are they doing it for the wrong reasons? Maybe.
There's some out there who are.
Yeah.
And there's probably some out there who are doing it for the right reasons.
Yeah.
That percentage, I have no idea. I'm not even going to guesstimate.
The literal origin of America was we're like, hey, we don't like monarchies. We really don't. Because you're born into something, you think you get to run shit. Well, that's not how that works. We established America. What has happened now? Guess who runs shit? People who are born into fucking money. It's literally a monarchy refabricated to look different is all it is. And we're living the same fucking world that they were living back then and then protested and have a fucking war over. Like, what else is it?
That actually brings me into a hypothetical question that I was going to ask a little earlier, but then that leads right into it. And this is purely hypothetical because it'll never happen. It'll never happen. But what if right now, hypothetically, whatever reason, the government was to say, hey, guess what? The moment you die, and you can't just hide shit underground. Like once again, it's a hypothetical question. You can't just bury your fucking gold or whatever. When you die, everything you have does not pass on to your kin or your kids or whatever, your sister, your brother, anything like that. It just goes back out to the people or whatever. Or the government, even worse, the government fucking absorbs it, which we all hate the government.
Yeah, I feel like you need to set a dollar amount. I feel like you need to set a dollar amount.
Just everything. When you die, everything that you fucking have goes to, it doesn't matter, goes to the government, goes to the people for the point of the hypothetical
Goes
question.
to your income tax
Do
at
you
that point.
think
Everyone splits it.
Hold up. Do you think that people would actually like not care about making as much and passing it on and maybe spread it out amongst the other people who are alive right now living the same lives as them?
Yeah, there's no reason that Elon Musk's great grandson
Isn't already set for life?
exactly.
Yeah.
That's insane.
But this is the problem that you have with that.
No, Jeff Bezos'
money-
great grandsons are, no matter what they do with their money, unless he bets it all on black, they're set up for life.
Yeah.
This is the problem with this, because now you have people that are out of touch with humanity that now have power, because money equals power in capitalism.
Yep.
I mean, try to argue that with me. It was like, no, the billionaires don't have any say in what we do. No, you're a fucking stupid motherfucker. So now you have generation after generation of completely out of touch from everybody else, now making decisions for everybody else because they can lobby, they can put their hands in pockets of politicians, fucking shit like this. I know I'm getting in a little bit of conspiracy theory here.
No, not at all.
But
That's
I feel
not-
like everybody...
That's proof
Get
of
out of
shit.
here, bro.
We think it's not, but somebody out there is like watching Fox News going, no, that's not the fucking
Lobbyists don't get to do that. They don't take stuff on the side.
Yeah.
They're not giving...
No,
yeah.
but that's the problem. Now you have the exact reason why we fucking left England in the fucking first place is it doesn't matter
So-
where you're fucking born. I want to have my right to live and my right to shit. It has nothing to do with money. Realistically, it has nothing to do with money, but it kind of comes down to money. You're like, I want my life and I want to be able to fucking live it. And you don't get so much shit and get to take advantage of me. That's why we left. Isn't this same shit that's happening right now?
People don't realize
Unvoted
it.
in,
People don't realize it.
Unvoted in. We didn't fucking vote in Jeff Bezos to be the richest man in the world. We didn't
I mean, you
vote
did
in
with your
Elon
dollar.
Musk.
Yeah, that's true.
When you use Amazon.
I mean, what else do you have? I mean, our government should have stepped in and regulated it, right? To our best interest, but doesn't do it because guess who's probably getting paid on the fucking side? Is our fucking politicians. And then now everything's corrupt. This is why I said uncorrupted capitalism is the best way to run a fucking civilization, 100%. But the problem is, it's so corrupt.
It's inherent in us,
literally,
yeah.
It's literally like scrolling back.
You're talking about
fucking years.
presidents and politicians and stuff getting paid on the side.
That's another thing. Who can just be? I mean, you have Barack Obama, right? Like he came from like nothing, so I guess he's like the one example of a politician literally coming from what is considered nothing, and then becoming the president of the United States, which I know a lot of people are, really excited about, or were excited about. But I mean, it's the same shit. The same people are running the same shit year after fucking year, and nobody's criticizing these people. Because they're not in politics. You don't vote them in. You don't vote them out. They're always in power. The Rothschilds, the fucking, and right when you say that name, oh man, you're getting into conspiracy theory shit right here, right? No, it's the wealthy. The wealthy run shit. Nobody's taking.
And the new people are the big tech people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, and there are multi. I don't know how many billionaires there are. There are over 100. I
Jeff
think.
Bezos couldn't fucking put a PC together. If you gave him all the fucking parts and instructions, he wouldn't know how to do it because he's so used to paying people to fucking do it.
Well, yeah, for sure.
That dude doesn't know fucking shit. Oh, sorry.
You're probably not wrong.
No, he didn't even know how to put a GPU fucking into the motherboard. I guarantee you, he'd be like, "Oh, I'm used to snap my fingers, have a motherfucker come over here and do it." Sorry,
You're good.
going on a weird rant.
I was gonna say, man, you threw me all off for a loop there.
My bad.
I read something the other day. Once again, I don't know how accurate this is. I don't remember where I read it from, so take it with a grain of salt or whatever. But reading about how, so when there's a president and they stay somewhere out of state or whatever, not in the White House, they stay somewhere else. Obviously, their what is that called?
Their cost?
No, the security. What is that called?
Yeah, the Secret Service.
Secret Service,
Yeah.
thank you. Their Secret Service and all there stays there with them, their bodyguards and all that. And the American taxpayer, which this is completely fair, I have no problem with this. The American taxpayer pays for their secret security to stay there. Like if they stay in a hotel, we pay that hotel with taxpayer dollars for them to stay there. Got no problem with that. So President Trump, and this isn't a dig on Trump because I'm sure every president has done it. This is the point I'm getting at. There's so much like little side shit there. So the Secret Service or whatever were staying at all of his hotels and his properties. Everywhere he stayed was one of his properties. So all of the American taxpayer dollars that were going to keep him room and board for him and all of his Secret Service and everything like that went back into his companies.
So he's staying at his hotels and he's still charging the American taxpayer.
Yes.
But I mean, oh yeah, that's fucked up. But so the only thing I would say to that, and I'm not a Trump supporter either.
Like I said, this has nothing to do with Trump. This has nothing to do with Trump. I'm saying that they probably all do that in some way, shape, or form.
Come on, if you're Trump, man, like I mean, if you're going to, he literally gave presidents make what, like 400?
I don't know.
It's like $400,000 for every, however, whatever it is. He donated that money. Each time he got paid, he never accepted that money.
I mean, that doesn't.
But
matter.
I mean, like, dude, if you're not accepting that, then why are you going to accept the money from them staying at your hotel? Like, come on, man. Like, really? You're right. That's fucked.
One thing looks better on paper than other.
Very true.
You know?
Yeah.
You're paying. He's.
If you're gonna go all the way, go all the fucking way, man. Go all the way. Don't go halfway. But I mean, that's how, and that's the big thing, man. With rich people, they say if you're gonna be rich, if you want to be wealthy, not rich but wealthy, you spend. You cut the dollar. You don't cut the dollar in half. You cut it 3/4.
Can I make this clear real quick? I don't have a problem with rich people. I do not have a problem with rich people. People who have a lot of money, I do not have a problem with. It's the people who have this absolute, like, love of money and this necessity to keep getting it. I literally think it is a mental disability that you are dealing with. This, like, you're chasing the fucking dragon for some reason. And you need to see a fucking psychiatrist or some shit and fucking work some shit out. Maybe find some meaning in your life, like more subtle, because we're all fucking human beings. We're all fucking human beings. Nobody, like, what insatisfaction are you trying to get from having it all?
Have you ever thought about it though? Like just thought about having that type of money? And I know it would be really hard to fathom. I mean, because like the thought of like, so for me, when I first
we've talked about it before,
but hold on,
drunkenly on the back deck, so like just nothing serious.
Quick question. So for me, like whenever you guys kind of got me into investing. Like me, I would have, if I didn't know either of you, one, I would have never, I mean, I may still have downloaded Robinhood. Maybe it would have taken longer. Maybe it would have been shorter. But either way, I downloaded Robinhood. Obviously, I'm more into cryptocurrency than you guys are. But for me, like investing into Dogecoin and when it hit that 71 cent mark and just seeing the amount of money I had, I'm like, holy fuck.
It was an adrenaline hit, right?
It was.
You got that dopamine. You got that high score.
I did. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So I think it's inherent in all of us. And just imagine that times however much it would be just to be on that level to even get there. Like,
man, that's a sickness though and a problem.
See?
But is it though? Because I saw that amount of money, I had it.
It's like a gambling problem.
I didn't
do like a gambling
But hold
problem.
on. So some people it does exist in some people for sure. But for me, whenever I hit that, I've never had that type of money before. So did I have a problem because I wanted more, and that's why I didn't pull out?
Depends on your reason for wanting more, though. Because if you're just wanting more to see that number go up, then yeah, that is a problem. That is an actual, like, that is a sickness. As to where, like, investing, when I see the numbers go up on my fucking stock account, whatever, on my brokerage, whenever I see the numbers go up, it's not like, yay, high score, I've got more money, whatever, blah, blah. I'm thinking of in, like, legitimate, tangible terms of, okay, this is going towards, like, a house payment. Like, this is moving towards having savings so that if I go to the hospital and, insurance doesn't cover everything, then I can pay for this amount or whatever. Like, it's got tangible purpose behind it.
I think for a lot of people that it might be that way, though, especially a lot of people that are in our shoes.
Dude, hundreds of millions of dollars, whatever happens in your life, you're good. I'm sorry. Like, dude, if knock on wood, I don't want anybody out there to die or get cancer or anything. You know what I mean? But, like, bro, hundreds upon hundreds upon hundreds of millions of fucking dollars. Dude, you could
have cancer 100 times.
That's what I'm saying. You get cancer and they go in there and they fix the shit or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Or you get something happens and you have to have a fucking liver transplant or whatever it is. Or
you're even first on that list.
Ignore the medical. Your fucking car breaks down and you need to fix your car. You don't need hundreds upon hundreds of $1 million for that.
No, I agree, man. And I think we've said it in the podcast before, but I think tonight we did talk about it a little bit different. We went around it in a completely different circle than we've kind of discussed it before, but neither here nor there. The subject needs to be talked about. It's very important when we have these people, these billionaires, and again, there's multiple of these people who are running the world. Jesse, like you said, they're not politicians. They are not held accountable in any way, shape, or form. They're able to lobby in their favor, which is absolutely insane and crazy.
If everybody
should be
paid
illegal.
That's the worst part is the paying everybody off.
Yeah.
Like, this is
But-
why we
but-
left England.
but that-
This is why we left England,
Yeah.
because it's what you're born into.
But
You
this
don't
is-
get a right to decide my life.
This is new
but
age
the rich
shit.
have decided. No, the rich are the new. Like, man, it's
Oil
been-
companies go in there and tell fucking politicians like, hey,
Replace-
Congress members, guess what? This is what you're going to vote for because we need this bill to pass so that we can keep making money and then we can siphon some of that money into your pockets. And then the politicians are like, yeah, sure, I like money. I'll vote for you. And it has nothing to do with the betterment of the actual fucking American people.
So in this instance, and this would be the betterment of America. Green technology is 100% green technology is.
We're not going that way though.
But I mean, like, so Biden canceled the Keystone Pipeline, all this shit. He's getting sued over it, or the government is, blah blah blah. But even regardless, let's say we go away from oil and we go to this new technology like electric cars and Elon Musk and shit. He's going to benefit from that.
Yeah, no, it's always
Yeah.
there, right?
It's
Until
already-
you
it's-
uncorrupt it.
It's already set in stone.
corrupted though.
It's already set in stone. There's already those future billionaires that are going to just jump on that plane. But I mean, is it justifiable that they're the ones, them and their teams are the ones who created the invention? Because without them, that wouldn't exist, type of thing. So
I don't know, man.
should they
It's a
inherently?
weird-
Yeah, I know it is. It's tough.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Really quick.
100%.
Do you think that a person like Jeff Bezos, with the amount of money that he has, really cares about anybody else outside of himself?
I've seen like one video of Jeff Bezos, and it was when David Blaine did a magic trick in front of him.
I hate that. I hate the fact, because I love David Blaine.
Yeah.
I was like, don't perform for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
motherfucker.
But what I'm saying is the one like video I've watched him, I was sickened by his laugh. I was not. His laugh scared the shit out of me.
I haven't seen this video you're
Yeah,
talking
no,
about,
it's.
but
I mean,
he eats glass, so he eats glass right in the beginning of the video. And
Jeff
he-
Bezos?
No.
I know. David Blaine.
No, and then he does a math trick, which is really easily explained, and he's fucking like wowed by it. He also has some dude, like some old guy, talking about thermodynamics, which is like a part of his clique, who just sounds smart. You know, whenever he walks around with Jeff Bezos, like everybody knows, like the first law of thermodynamics. Like, oh man, you sound really cool right now. Like you're just trying to stick with his clique.
somehow he made it
Yeah.
in that click. He got lucky. But
Yeah, no.
I don't know. I wasn't impressed, man. I mean, he seems like just a desensitized human being. Like you said, psychologically.
He's a king.
Doesn't know what it's like to
king.
be
Yeah,
a
a
normal
king,
person.
yeah.
He's a king.
When you're the
And-
richest person in the world, you are a king. Yeah, 100%. We've allowed it. We've allowed it.
And now you shit on us? Well, this is how America was founded, is we shit on kings.
Well, I mean,
no.
does
I
he
mean, we
really-
don't. We still
Are
use
we-
Amazon.
Exactly.
cool
Does he?
with the
Does,
king?
does he
We
really?
still,
cool with the
we
king?
still use Amazon.
Does he
I
really?
don't use Amazon.
Hold on. Oh,
I don't fucking use
you don't
Amazon.
use it?
No,
I was gonna
fuck
say
no.
he really shits on us, man. I mean, if I order something today, I get it in 2 days. That's pretty cool, man.
I don't use Amazon. I don't use Amazon.
I tried not
I'm
to either.
I'm not
I tried
doing
not to
fucking
either,
nothing.
man, but it's
I'm not
real-
on Facebook. I don't
Hey.
use Amazon.
Hey, when we need books for someone who's
I
coming on
braid
the
my pubic
podcast,
hair.
We're using YouTube right now.
whenever I need a book, someone's coming on the podcast, I need their book, I'm hitting up Amazon, man. It's coming in 2 days. I can't wait a week, 2 weeks.
Yes, I mean, we're
You know
at
what I'm
fault
saying?
too,
The
man.
issue isn't
Yeah.
Amazon. The issue isn't Amazon. It's that our government has allowed this.
Yeah, because Amazon could still exist, and Jeff Bezos wouldn't make as much money. And there are more people, or yeah.
Or, hold up,
Yeah.
here's something crazy.
Bro, you take away like
Here's
4
something crazy.
billion from this guy?
Just use,
No big deal. His
keep
life
using
doesn't
Amazon.
change.
Keep using Amazon, but Jeff Bezos, be a decent person and like give some of that money back to the people.
Yeah.
Pay your
But it
employees
shouldn't
more.
be up to him. First of all, it should not be up to him.
Hold on, I'd be curious if you took $4 billion away from him. Let's go $4 billion and divide that by the amount of employees that he has. How much of a raise he could give with that $4
Dude,
billion?
we've done this math before.
Yeah.
We've done
On
this
the
math
podcast.
before
On
on
the
the podcast.
Yeah.
Whenever COVID first hit, and he had like, I think it was like 3,500 employees at his it's way more now, but at the time, there were like 3,500 employees who were laid off. 3,500 employees who were laid off. And we did the math of his $114 billion. And you could give all 3,500 of those employees you could give them all $5,000 a month for like 3 months or whatever. $5,000 a month for each of those 3,500 employees for 3 months. And it would be the equivalent to one of us giving away a quarter.
Yeah. That's insane.
Not to each employee,
Yeah.
one quarter
It's a
to
sickness.
pay for all of them. I give away out of my bank account. I give away 1 quarter, and I can help 3,500 people.
It's so hard not to start equating it to, man, this is a mental issue these people have. These are, I don't want to call them psychopaths or, some kind of socio, whatever. But man, Like, fuck, how much do you need that you don't even fucking use, and everyone else is suffering to make sure that you have this?
And that's
like, fuck, man.
That's the most important thing. You talk about
Like,
suffer,
shit.
and you talk about the mental illness that's going on in the world, specifically when you get to America. You talk about the homeless issues. You talk about the wealth gap. You talk about the politics that go on within the United States, and all those things, man. I think if we were to recorrect and go back to true capitalism, uncorrupted, obviously that's the best case scenario, which will never happen because human beings are unable to do that because we're inherently always going to be corrupt individuals. I don't know if that's society, if that's because the way society is, or if it's inherent in us. But regardless, I think the world could be a better place if we were to divvy up money a certain way and we didn't allow people to
pretty
make
socialist.
Dude,
there, Paul.
we have a way to do that, and it's called taxing.
No,
you know what's
no.
crazy? Like, divvying out money is like taxing.
Okay. So
just tax people.
No, that's not. That's not.
I'm sorry. I'm saying it in a way. I'm not trying to sound socialist or anything like that. I promise you, man.
There's nothing inherently wrong with socialism. It's fine on paper.
No, I mean,
Just like capitalism's fine on paper. Neither of them work in the real world, though.
exactly. I'm just saying
They
it.
both become corrupted really easy.
So what I'm-
Socialism quicker.
What I'm
Socialism
saying,
becomes corrupted quicker.
if we use their way in a more productive way, I guess is what I'm trying to say. And I'm not trying to put a label on it or anything like that. Just use it in a more productive way and don't allow these people to have the amount of money that they have. Again, who determines that? I have no idea. But just use it in a more productive way. I think you're going to see a lot of these problems go away within our society that we have. Truly. I mean, there's really no way around it. And I'm not saying that everyone wants money and to be a part of society and contribute and be the betterment, you know. Some people just want to enjoy their family, their friends, and hang out and chill and relax and work like we do. And we're not looking for those billions of dollars, but we're going to live our life and do what we need to do. But what I'm saying is like infrastructure. Like you're talking infrastructure and technology and the progression of just this specific country. I think it could help that as well.
Man, let's just go back to like trading and shit. You know, like
Trading and bartering.
yeah, like trading and bartering. Like let's say, so I go to my friend who trained. He went to school. He's a doctor. He's got some medical equipment. Like, man, my arm's fucked up. I got shot. I need you to take this bullet out. I need you to stitch me up because I'm not very good at it myself. But you're trained to do this and all that.
But then
it's gonna take 2 hours out of your day. He takes 2 hours out of his day to do that, and then I do whatever I'm good at and whatnot. And I say maybe my skill's not as valuable as his. So I say, guess what? Man, for the next 3 days, I'm going to help you with this stuff since you helped me for a couple
Gardening,
hours. Yeah.
I thought you were talking about Dr. John Youre for a second, man.
No. It doesn't have to be medical. I'm just talking in general. Bro, I got a ton of cows and I make milk. You need milk? Here's milk.
Yeah.
You're really good at gardening.
How much milk would you need to get a rocket ship from Elon Musk, though? You know what I'm saying?
I don't need a rocket ship from Elon Musk. That's
what
the whole
happens if
point.
you wanted, though, man? That dude's bartering game.
I
would be
don't want it.
insane.
I don't need it. Like,
Yeah. No, I know. I get it, man. Something's fucked up, man. Something's got to give. If it gave back when we left,
something's got to give.
if we left British back in the time, the UK or whatever it was called, to leave taxation without representation, and we literally entered it right after we left it, and it's just continued on. Something has to give.
I mean,
right?
it's just a human
They
flaw.
literally re-implemented the same thing that we left England for.
Right, and we're more
and
okay.
it's happening now.
And we're more okay with it than we've ever been.
With it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're more
everybody's
okay.
just okay with it.
It's because people don't know the rights. They don't know the Constitution.
So frustrating.
Yeah,
It's not because people don't know their rights. Because people have it's because the government has taken away your rights.
And people did nothing about it.
Like, I don't want to get... Yeah, no, you're right. People did do
they've
nothing
reduced
about
our
it.
education. They've reduced our education. They don't want us to be knowledgeable in the fucking law.
They let the
don't want us to be knowledgeable
Supreme
on
Court tell you what to
finance.
do and make law. Like, the Supreme Court doesn't have the right to just read the Constitution and be like, yeah, that's what this means.
Yeah,
like,
they're
it doesn't
just-
actually work that way.
They're just a person
just
like you and
do
I.
it.
Yeah, they're a person like you and I, and their ideas get to determine a 9 vote of what's going to happen in the world of the United States. No, thank you.
Well, what's going to be hilarious is history ends up repeating itself, and they're going to end up being shit on at some point. Like, I see this whole thing of eat the rich.
Revolution.
And once again,
Revolution.
somebody who thinks that they're rich, making $250,000 a year, $1 million a year, you're not rich. You're
Don't be
not
afraid.
rich.
We're not talking about you.
It's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about you. You don't have shit, by the way. You have $1 million, you don't have shit. Just like I don't have fucking shit. Like, once again, we are closer to you than
You will ever be.
You will ever be. We are the same fucking person. We have the same shit. We have a car. You have a TV, you have a computer, you have a house. Yeah, I do too. It's just everything is a lot smaller and less nicer.
Yeah, that's it.
Like that's about
just a few more bucks, man.
We're the same fucking people. I'm talking about the people in excess.
Yeah,
People in excess. No, at some point, man.
Yeah, and
They're gonna take too much. At some point, they're gonna take too much, and I've said
sure.
this before. And the script will be flipped, and they do too much
for me,
they
and
take
this
too much.
This is my lasting thought. I don't know if you guys have any lasting.
Yeah, because we're
thoughts.
kind of getting there. Aren't
Yeah, we're definitely a little bit over. But my lasting thought would be, I guess, with all this excess money and whatever, call it whatever you want. You know what I'm saying? But like to me, the most important thing is the progression of humankind. And if everything we're told is correct about the sun blowing out in 1 billion years and all the variables that go on in space and the universe and shit like that, in my eyes, our goal should be to progress as a human race to be able to do space travel, go to other galaxies, blah, 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 blah. To me, that's where all this money would be focused on. And doing that type of shit and ending world hunger, making sure everyone gets clean water, energy, food, all that shit. That, to me, would be the most important thing with all this money. Like, it wouldn't be a couple individuals having all this money while so many people suffer. Everyone, and it's not necessarily utopia, but everyone would at least have the basic necessities of life and comfortability. To me, that's my...
Dude, there's enough money out there. There shouldn't be any homeless people.
That's what I'm saying.
Where the fucking Christians at right now? Where the fucking Christians
at? Oh, man, no, you don't got to bring religion into it, bro.
No, because Christians fundamentally treat other people as you would want to be treated, right?
Yeah.
Super fundamental Christianity. Where the fuck is that shit at, by the way? Oh, I can have everything and watch you suffer to make sure I have fucking money? Where's the fundamental Christianity that this whole nation was built off of? By the way, what you fucking think?
That's because it's inherently flawed. But
yeah.
Fucking no! Oh my God, go fuck yourself.
That's your lasting
thought? Be a good Christian.
Thought?
Yeah, no, be a good fucking Christian. Treat people like you. If you made a shit ton of money, fucking give it fucking back. Like, is that not Christianity as a whole? What Jesus fucking said? I don't even believe in fucking Jesus. Fucking at least do what he fucking talked about whenever you're like running for a political fucking office and everybody, oh my God, this frustrates me so much. I want a president to run for office and just to be like agnostic. Because so many of our founding fathers were.
I'm sure some of them might
agnostic
be.
and atheists.
However many we've had, one of them had to have been.
But they couldn't say it out loud.
Yeah, true.
Oh, man.
Johnny, what you got, man? You got any lasting thoughts?
Sorry.
Yeah, I do. Real quick, I just want to say, if you're on the fence and you don't know whether you agree with us or disagree with us or whatever, watch. It's a really shitty movie. It's got Justin Timberlake in it, and it's a really bad movie. Watch the movie In Time.
I love that movie.
Yeah, it's really bad. I enjoy watching it.
Yeah.
Doesn't make it a good cinematic movie. You know what I mean?
I like the movie. I like the concept, everything about it. But sorry.
No, watch that. So you've seen it then.
Yeah.
Watch that movie. They do a perfect thing where they basically take away all money. Like for the synopsis of the movie, money doesn't exist. Instead of money, it's time. That's basically the gist of it. Instead of money, it's time that you have left on Earth to live or whatever. And the whole point is, hey man, look at these billionaires who can live for hundreds of thousands of years. And you've got other people who are dying at 25 years old, 26 years old because they've ran out of time, AKA money. And their whole point is when they look at it, they're like, hey man, there's enough money here. Everybody can live to be 100, 150 years old and we can all be happy and stuff instead of some people living to be hundreds of thousands of years old.
We'll leave it with you on that, man. Beautifully said, Johnny. Best thing you guys can do for this podcast, and specifically just this episode, great episode in my opinion, is just share it, man, honestly. Share it, like it, subscribe to Talk Junkies, man. We're on BitChute, we're on YouTube, we're on Spotify, we're on iTunes.
Man, Paul putting in that work.
Yeah, we're on all of it, man. Again, we're working for some great guests to come on the show. I'm always looking for anyone and everyone who's just willing to come on the show to have a great conversation with us to come on the show. But the best thing, again, that you guys could do was just share the shit out of this video to all your friends and family, man. Get in your phone book when you can click on all of your contacts, press share with this URL to this podcast, and just share the shit out of this, man, because the people need to hear it, man. And I'm not saying we have everything right, but I mean,
we could be dead wrong.
Talk about it.
Yeah,
talk about it.
Exactly.
Just talk about it.
But just talk about it. Yeah, precisely. And that's what we're going to continue to do.
Bring
we're
it
not,
up.
We're not going to shy away from it, man. And it's been really good just to have just us three again, just in the game, man. No guests tonight. It's been a pleasure, man. I love having you guys on. It's always fun.
That's okay.
Yeah, just all right, man. Hey, my new nickname, from a guy who comes into to where I work, Paulie Bag of Donuts. That's my new nickname.
Did you bring? Hold up. Did you bring in a bag of donuts?
No. He called me Paulie Bag of Donuts.
That's from a. Oh my god.
So it's from a movie.
No, it's from a stand-up special.
I don't know. I love the nickname. I'm all for it, man. That's my new nickname, Paulie Bag of Donuts.
I'm just gonna keep calling you P-Wiz.
Okay. I would prefer Paulie Bag of Donuts.
I'm gonna call you by your God-given name,
Your Christian name.
Sure.
your Christian name.
Yeah. Paul the disciple.
Yeah.
Just Paul.
He's a disciple, right? Paul?
No, he was not a disciple. His name was Saul. He was not a disciple.
Okay.
But I'm not getting
All right,
into
yeah.
that.
Sorry.
He's not a disciple.
Share the shit out of this, motherfuckers. To all our junkies out there.
Stay fly and ring the bell.